appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know the drill.
K100, you bad.
What's happening? All right, man. The homie Duece right here, man, is in the building, man. This has been some really dope, creative, grinders, businessmen, creatives at the Shoot Your Shot Film Festival, man. Please holler at my folks and let them know who we rocking with, homie.
Yeah, I got Duece King in the building, writer, producer, motivation for change. You know, we here.
Absolutely, man. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. So, man, I want to ask you, you know, what do you think about, first of all, just Shoot Your Shot, but not just this particular film festival, but any film festival that's going on right now that's geared towards film from independent, filmmakers. Like, you feel like there's enough platforms? Maybe, you know, this is an expansion. I feel like it's needed, but what do you feel about it?
I definitely feel it's needed. I don't think it's enough. I think what Laylo was doing is innovative and it's needed for us, man, because we have a plethora of talent out there whose voices is not being heard.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think as he keep building on every year, it'll get bigger. Maybe he could take it bi-coastal, but I think, you know, Shoot Your Shot Film Festival is going to be big.
Absolutely, man. So how did you get into film, bro?
Man, you know, I actually was I started writing when I was in prison.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I didn't want to come back home and do the things that I was doing before I left. So I just started writing about things that I may have experienced on the outside, and just to kind of get away. And when I came home, you know, life kicks in.
Right.
You know, family, kids, bills, and you know, I kind of put film to the side, and you know, I started a business. And when we started the business, I wind up it wasn't successful.
Right.
So my wife told me, "Yo, you got to go back and get your money with your writing."
Right.
So I actually, man, took them prison notebooks out of the envelopes, and I got started back writing, man. And that same week I started back writing, I had a meeting with A.K. Reed. You know what I mean?
That same week. Okay, that's a blessing right there.
Definitely. And he actually wanted me to be in one of his next films.
Okay.
That was called Bartenders. But when I went to the meeting, I brought some of my writing.
Okay.
And he read the first couple pages and said, "Yo, you got to write the next film." I was like, "I don't know how to write no film." He said, "Yo, you got to go learn."
Right.
And the rest is history.
Wow, that's crazy. So, and I was going to ask you that. I was like, so when you said you was writing it down, and when you said you was inside, and I was like, were you like, I didn't know if you was writing it down as like a journal or writing down in more book form?
I'm actually writing a book.
You was writing the book
so
form.
I wrote a book first.
Okay, all right.
And we turned the book, and when I met with him, it was still in book form.
Okay.
So I had to go. I didn't even know how to write a script. He made me go learn how to write scripts.
Wow, that's crazy, man. But big ups to him, man. That was a real inspiration, bro.
Definitely.
So fast forward, you know, you come out and you get into it, man. Tell me about that journey being a black man, being a producer, because you know you guys are the kind of pulling everybody together, making this thing gets done. You know, I know you're part of the creative process too, but you guys are actually, you know, sometimes financing or however you have to do it to make it get done. Tell me about that side of it, you know, because a lot of people look at it and they just want to talk about the movies themselves, but there is no movie without what goes on before it even gets done, gets started. So what about that?
You know, we actually do everything. We don't really outsource anything from the funding to the creative part to the editing. If I don't do it, A.K. Reed does it.
Wow.
So he does everything ourselves, and I love it. You know, I love the process. You know, it's a journey. I get lost in it. You know what I mean? So, you know, I've always been the type of person that can pull people together. I've always been a leader. So I'm just using the things that I learned, you know, in other areas of my life, and I'm just using it for film.
Okay. So you said that you was writing down, you know, things that you had went through in your life. How much of your personal story pours out into these films, and how much of it is maybe, even if it ain't you, somebody that you actually literally know that kind of went through it? Like, how much of it is the inspiration is pulled from real life events?
Now, everything I write is fictitious. So I'm not writing my story per se. Everything I write is fictitious, but I use my life as the outline.
Okay.
So it comes from an organic place.
Okay.
So like, even, you know, going back to Conflicted, you know what I mean? Like, when I came home from prison,
right,
you know, all my friends were street dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I came home, I didn't have no resources talking about film. They was trying to get me back in the streets.
Right.
But I knew I wasn't going in that direction. So it was a confliction there. And I still got bills to pay. I still got family to take care of. You know, it was pulling at me.
Right.
So I used that scenario, me coming home from prison, and just creating a story around it.
Exactly, man. And so, kind of sort of based on you. Just wanted to make sure I just all right, yeah, okay, right, yeah. All right, but listen, man, that's dope and that's great, man. You know what I'm saying? It's cool because we've got so many stories as us. I mean, so let me ask you this about creating content and creating film. Like, what would it take for you to like to go off like to the left of what you normally see from us? Like, I don't see too many people doing some like sci-fi or something like that. Like, how much do you feel like you want to kind of go all the way out creatively just from a space that you don't see black people, portrayed on film a lot of? You know what I'm saying?
Now, I don't know if it's going all the way left, but I'm in the process of right now writing a thriller.
Okay.
It's a lot of films that I've written this far has been like about the hood, about selling drugs.
Right.
This one is more about relationships and the crazy lady that's on some what's the joint called? Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Okay. Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm giving it from a hood perspective. If you a lot of times you see them thrillers, it'd be like the professional.
Yeah, the doctor's nanny that went crazy.
Correct.
We don't got nannies.
Yeah. So now I'm showing it from a hood point of view.
Okay, right.
Where it's like, it's a guy who may have been in the streets before, but now he's a mechanic getting his life right. He's about to get married, but a drunken night he wind up smashing it. You know what I mean? I can't give it too much away.
Right.
But I'm just giving it from that point of view where you showing how, one bad decision could turn into a lifelong time of pain.
I like it, man. You feel me? This Shoot Your Shot Film Festival is also part of a bigger thing, right?
Okay.
The Low Vision's Media Center, and their goal is teaching film to people. That's what this whole thing is going to end up being. They got an acting class right there. They're going to do courses here and stuff like that. That's one of the long-term goals of the whole situation, right? After the festival, that's going to be going on too, right? This is what Leo just told me today, right? So with that being said, that's also another thing I want to talk about, like getting our kids and our young people into film, because it's a big market, and not just necessarily have to be an actor. Like, understand there's different roles in creating film. Like, what do you feel like we need to do to kind of bump more of us into doing film right now, seriously, not just part-time, just like really going into film careers, and not always acting or not always, but there's thousands of jobs in the whole economy, and I don't see a lot of us on big sets behind the scenes doing a lot of those jobs.
Because they're not exposed to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just real quick, 5 years ago, I went and spoke at my old high school.
Right.
I spoke to a group of kids. And that day, it was a young man. He was about 14, 15 years old. And he was like, man, Mr. King, I want to be an actor. I want to do movies. You inspire me, yada, yada, yada. And that day, I told him everything that I was supposed to tell him, encouraged him. And not saying I didn't believe in him, but I hear that so much where I kind of just, went through the script.
Right.
But that same young man, probably about 2 months ago, jumped in my inbox. I was like, yo, I don't know if you remember me, but you came and spoke at my school.
Right.
I told you I wanted to be a filmmaker. Well, make a long story short, that young man wrote, produced, financed, acted in his own movie.
Wow.
And I was so impressed with him.
Right.
He was like, yo, you inspired me to want to do film.
Right.
So I was so impressed with him. I took him and his whole team to lunch, and I was so impressed with him. I was like, how did you raise the money? Where did you get the money from? He said, man, I work at Chick-fil-A and I sold T-shirts.
Right.
So he didn't go buy no Jordans.
Right.
He didn't go buy a car with no jewelry or no designer. He went and invested in himself. And I was so impressed because it's people who's been around me for 7 years who have not thought about investing in what we're doing.
Right.
So I put them young folks in, and they're going to be a part of what we got going on because they have the passion for it, they have the hunger
That's dope.
for it.
Right.
So I think to answer your question, they need to be exposed to it.
Right. That's all. They just need to be shown. The curtain need to be pulled from, because all they see is the finished product most of the time. They don't even see the true creative process of, and they can appreciate it. So I was just like, man, that's the answer. But so okay, that's the answer. Now, how do we make that happen?
We have to pull them in.
Yeah.
We got to expose them to it. So what we do is, again, once a person like myself, right?
You have to you need to reach out more.
They can identify with me.
Right.
So I go back to the neighborhood. They smell like me. They look like me. They talk like me.
Right.
So I don't go and try to talk over their head. I don't go with suits on and you know what I mean. I look like them, and they can identify, and now they can, that makes them feel like I can do it too.
Right.
So I let them be around me. I let them come see it. So them same young folks, I let them run my whole casting call. I sat back and just let them run the show.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I seen throughout that process, they confidence built up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So again, we just have to. We gotta extend the olive branch.
Okay, yeah, I love that answer, man. So listen, I appreciate you sitting down talking with me, man. You know what I'm saying? It was a great conversation, and I don't want to hold anybody, but I just wanted to, before we get ready to go, first of all, I got two things. I want to make sure that you can give out any information that you want, any contact information, or any project that people need to make sure that they check out, that you really want to make sure they see, just in case they never saw it before.
Yeah, Conflicted is on all platforms, man. Amazon, Tubi. Y'all can find me at Duece King 62 on IG. That's DUECEKING 62. Go watch Conflicted, man. We got part 2 coming up. We Pure Finesse. We just got done filming that back in May. We in post-production right now.
Right.
And man, it's about to get special. 2023 gonna be a special year, man.
That's what's up, man. Hey, I hope you guys, I hope it just knock out the park again, because Conflicted was good. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, those sequels, you be like, oh, come on, you got to get it right. Nail it. You know what I'm saying? So, I hope it's dope.
And check it. Not a spoiler alert, but what I'm doing, it won't be a sequel. It's going to be a prequel.
A prequel. Okay, part 2 is a prequel. Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm doing, I'm going back into the story.
Yeah.
And I'm showing how I got arrested, my transition in prison.
Right.
You know what I mean? How I became Muslim, how homeboy knocked me from my girl while I was gone.
Right.
Showing how Benny became who he is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
It should be interesting, man.
All right, man. Well, listen, Godspeed to you guys, and I hope that's that you guys do great things and bigger things, because based on what you told me, the bigger you get, the better the chance some of our people gonna come in, because it feels like you're gonna reach back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You feel me? It feels like I know you're gonna, the more success you have, you're gonna try to pull more and more people. So yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Because it's incumbent upon me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave you with this. I just went and spoke at the jail where I got all my time at. I went back and spoke to these young men yesterday.
Wow.
And it was a reminder. Because sometimes I get distracted by the noise.
Right.
But yesterday, going back to speak to these young men, it was a reminder saying, man, stay humble.
Yeah.
Don't forget where you came from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
it had to be powerful. It had to be powerful to go back there as who you are now, and you was actually an inmate before. Like, I went back to talk to the brothers yesterday, and they was inspired, man, and just hearing their stories. You know what I mean? And and again, I gave my number to them. I'm not telling them look me up on IG. I gave my personal number. Get with me when you come home. Right.
You know what I mean? Because you never know, you may be able to change somebody's life.
Exactly. And you know how it is once you're a felon or whatever, they don't want to give you no regular jobs or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But us, we can always employ us, because we know that one little whatever you went through don't necessarily define you.
Correct.
We understand, because if we ain't been there ourselves, we have family who did. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's important. You know what I mean? That was good stuff, man.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely, man. K100 Radio, Shoot Your Shot Film Festival, man. Duece, man. Make sure you go check out that Conflicted, man. And I can't wait for part 2. All right, homie?
Yes, sir.
You feel me? Make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. You know the drill.
K100 Radio.